All right. I'm going to help you today. Going to help you with some information that you need, some things you may not have thought about, some things you have. I want to help you today. This is going to be Naked and Unashamed Part 2. The five things you need in a spouse. Hi, I'm Pastor Julian. This is the Ask Pastor Julian podcast. And if you're on YouTube, following us on YouTube, please consider subscribing and also click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we bring up a new video. Now, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook right now, make sure you comment. Let me know what you think about what we're talking about here. Give us some likes, give us some love as we talk about the five things you need in a spouse. So the dating scene is really, really crazy. I'm told. The dating scene is really, really crazy. And I want to give some advice and my thoughts on this. We were sitting in church on Sunday, and I was noticing a lot of the ladies that in church, were single and did not have husbands. And I wonder if they thought about, if they want one, what to look for. And I think that we talk about it in church a lot of times. We always talk about, the whole scripture about being unequally yoked. We talk about a little about finances, a little bit about this and that. But I want to take a deeper dive rather, in some things I think that we may not always consider when it comes to finding a mate, finding a spouse that we need to also think about, because I really want to help some folks out when it comes to this whole love and relationship, because it's, of course, it's not just about the wedding, it's about the marriage, it's about the relationship, it's about getting along, it's been able to deal with some things that it may not have been able to, you don't know if you have to deal with it or not, because a whole lot of stuff come up. But what if you're able to preempt some things by having some information that'll help you kind of make a better decision? Of course, we have prayer. We got to have prayer. Definitely got to have prayer. Of course, we have scripture that the Bible teaches us about some things as well. But I want to give you five things that I've learned and I picked up on along the way. And the little almost 8 years that I've been married, to me, it's not been that long. 8 years is not a long time, but I have picked up some things, some information along the way that I believe will help you if you allow me to help you with some stuff. So if that's cool with you, I would love to be able to share this with you right quick and give you some information. Yep. On what I think are five things that you should consider when you're talking about getting married, talking about wanting a spouse. Five things you should be looking for. Let me see. I can bring this up here. Here we go. I want to bring this up and let you know. And good morning. Of course. Remember to go ahead and put comments in the chat. If you have any questions while we're on live, I'll definitely be able to try to answer them as best as I can. Let me check the chat real quick and see what we got going on, if we have anything going on. All right, here we go. Number one, and the five things you need to know. Five things you need to know. Why is my video not working? It's not streaming right. Hold on. What's going on with this? What is going on with my video? Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't want to go all this way and don't have the information I need. Okay, cool. All right, we good. Looks like we're good. Okay, here we go. Number one is honesty in tough conversations. Now, I know that we talk about honesty, but I want to talk about specifically honesty in the tough conversations. And when I say tough conversations, Honesty about where you are spiritually, where you are emotionally, whether you are educationally, where you are financially. All these things need to be discussed. And you have to be willing to be open enough about them to discuss them. And this is where self awareness plays a big part, because a lot of times people may not be aware of where they are spiritually. They may not be aware of where they are spiritually, emotionally, because a lot of times it's when you get in a relationship, you understand where you are emotionally, because it pulls on you. The loving relationship pulls on you so much, you have to deal with your emotions. And if you have never had a relationship this deep, sometimes you don't know. So it takes a lot of self-awareness. It takes a lot of self-awareness to understand and be able to cope with that and be honest about where you are. And a lot of people have not achieved the level of self-awareness to be say, hey, listen, when you say stuff this way to me, it affects me. When you're hurting me a certain way, when you walk out on me, when you cut off a conversation, whatever, however it is, those things affected me emotionally, and it's bothering me. So you have to be very self-aware. You have to be very self-aware of who you are, so that you'll be able to deal with and have those tough conversations with your potential mate. You have to have, because I know we talk about finances a lot of time. We'll talk about, you make this money, amount of money, you make that amount of money, whatever. But what about the tough conversations about your credit? What about the tough conversations of you may be in a situation where you owe a lot of money, you may be in debt? Can you have those type of conversations with your potential mate? Can you have those type of conversations with your potential spouse about where you really are? Being honest in the tough conversations. Let's say you are a single dad or you're a single mom, and you may or may not have the best relationship with your child's father, your child's mother. Can you have the tough conversations with your potential spouse about, hey, our relationship is just not as good as it needs to be. Our relationship is not where I want it to be. This is where we are. Are you able to and willing to have those type of tough conversations? Because that may determine whether or not this person wants to continue on being with you or not. And you have to be able to accept the fact, listen, some people may not want to deal with certain aspects of your life. Some people may not want to deal with where you are financially. They may not want to deal with where you are emotionally. It doesn't matter how good you look or how good you dress. If you're sharing some things medically, sharing some things emotionally, sharing some things financially, they have the right. That person has the right. You have to allow them, the other person that you're dating or potentially being with, you have to allow them the opportunity to have an out. Let them choose whether or not they want to be in or out by being completely honest in tough conversations. It's a tough conversation to have. They're a tough conversation to have, and again, everybody does not want to deal with them. Everyone doesn't want to have those tough conversations, but you got to have them, because if you don't have them now, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of not sharing that information later. And so one thing you don't want to do is say, well, I asked you about this, you didn't tell me about these things or whatever, and then have to deal with the concept of you started off your whole relationship or your whole marriage rather with a lie. So you don't want to be guilty of doing that. So can you have the tough conversations about where you are spiritually? Can you have the tough conversations about where you are emotionally? Can you have the tough conversations about where you are educationally? Can you have the tough conversations about where you are financially? You got to be able to have those tough conversations and be honest and transparent in those conversations. So again, you have to be self-aware, and you have to understand where you are as a person right now, and your potential mate, what you're presenting to them. Because of course, on Facebook and on social media, we can present and show us ourselves in a way that seems like, hey, I got it all going on. But when you're in your intimate place with this person and you're saying, listen, we are considering being together, can you be honest about the things that you don't show on social media, the things that you don't share out there on Facebook? So, okay, that's number one. And good morning, Willie. Good morning, EJ. Good morning, Darren. So grateful that you joined me on this right quick. Hope you enjoying this. Again, chime in. Let me know what you think about what we're talking about. what we're sharing. So let me know your thoughts even now. Uh, let's talk about it. I'll be talking about it, sharing it, and I'm gonna check out some other stuff here in the chat to see if I have this going on somewhere else. Yeah. Okay. We're good there. We're good there. All right. All right. That's number one. Honesty in the tough conversations, and we all gonna have those tough conversations. Yeah, you have to be honest. All right. Number two. Number two. Number two. Number two is consistency. Number two is consistency. Are you being consistent in what you say and what you do? I say it like this because I've talked to a lot of couples, singles, and one thing I've always share with ladies who are dating, with men who are dating, I always share this. I said the person's actions and their words have to line up. They both have to be consistent. Okay, whatever they say has to line up with whatever they do. Whatever they do has to line up with whatever they say. If you see any inconsistency there, if you see anything there that seems like, okay, you told me this, but you did this. Well, you did this, but you told me that. Then that is a red flag, and you want to make sure that you're looking at that and say, wait a minute, you said something, but you did something different. You didn't apologize for it. You didn't try to explain. You just said, hey, you just did something, and then that has been the pattern. You have to watch the pattern of people. You have to watch the pattern of the potential mate or potential spouse. If the pattern gets out of line, if the pattern is out of whack, then if the pattern is breaking up now, the pattern is going to break up later. The Bible talks about having young men having a pattern of good works. So what is your pattern? What is your pattern showing? Are you having consistency in what you say and what you do? Or is everything just all over the place? Remember, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So where is the consistency? Where is the consistency? If there is no consistency with the woman and with the man, if you're dealing with it now, you're gonna deal with it in the marriage. Say it again. If you're dealing with it now, you're gonna deal with it in the marriage. If they're inconsistent now, they're gonna be inconsistent in the marriage. So a lot of this stuff is well, that's common sense. It's common sense, but it may be common sense now. But one thing I've learned, two things I've learned, that common sense, one, is not common. Common sense, one, is not common, and number two, you say that you don't. It's simple. It doesn't make sense, or that it's common knowledge. You should notice. But I've seen too many times where the pattern was there, and then they got mad after the marriage, and that same pattern was still there, but they looked over it when they were dating. But now you cannot look over it, and you're dealing with it in your marriage, and you're upset because they showed you some things before you got married because they weren't consistent then, and they're not consistent now. They're not going. Don't think that you're so great. And I hate to say this. I have to say this rather. Don't think that you're so great that when they get with you, they're gonna change. Who are you to think? And I see this a lot. Who are you to think that because they're with you, they're gonna change? If they can't change with God Almighty, who is all powerful, they haven't changed with God Almighty, who is all powerful. Don't think they're gonna change just because they're with you. You think that you're so great and you're so powerful. So if they're showing you who they are before you marry them, because they're with you, does not mean they're gonna change because all of a sudden they got with you. And you're such a great woman, you're such a great man that they're not gonna be the same way. They're gonna change because of who I am. No, you really want people to change because of who God is in their own life and make it their own decision. Because if God is doing the change, it's an internal thing. It's a places you can't get to. God can get to that you can't. So again, whatever their pattern is, that's what it's going to be, and you have to watch the pattern. So when you're looking at a potential spouse, potential mate, look at the patterns that they're showing you. All right, look at the patterns that they're showing you. All right, and this and of course, I'm going to share this with you. We're talking about these types of things in our class that we're doing starting in June. We're going to talk about who to date, who not to date, those types of things. And I want to share this with you right quick before I go to the last three things I want to share with you. I want to talk about what we're going to be sharing on in July, actually starting in June, next week Tuesday, starting a week from today, we'll be starting on this class, this course, and we're talking about specifically for men discovering the solution to the single biggest mistake that good men are making, and it's not the women, it's really the way we make decisions. So I want to help you create a life plan, and so I've created this life plan mastery challenge for you to join me in this path. Join you rather in this path. All right. So we're going to be discussing more of this in week 3 when we deal with navigating the sexual marketplace. Again, we're talking about who to date, who not to date, managing your sex drive. We're going to deal with some addictions and different things like that, so you can kind of help you work those things out. Whether you're married or not, we can help you work it out. Help you get to the place to where you're free from what you're dealing with now, and you can move to where God wants you to be. And if you are a man who is interested in this, go ahead and click on the challenge. Click on the challenge button and go ahead and get started. If you're a lady who's watching this and you want to sponsor a man or a young man or someone, maybe your nephew, maybe your son, maybe a godson, or somebody, or another man that you think that would be blessed with some of this, you can also sponsor them inside of this challenge. So we're starting next week, Tuesday, from 8 to 9 Central Standard Time. We want you there. We want you to join this challenge. Join this challenge. The prices start at $97. And that is a small fee to pay for the information, the value that we're going to be giving you inside this class. So go ahead and enroll now, get registered with that, and we'll see you on the inside of there. All right. Any questions or comments, you can always reach out to me and ask me on whatever platform you may be watching with me now. All right. So I want to move to number three, and this is a big one that I don't think a lot of people consider when we're talking about a potential mate, a potential spouse. You need to be with someone who is not in competition with you. You're not in competition with them, and they are not in competition with you. What do I mean? Is that every time you say something or you want to do something, they seem to want to one up you. I've seen it sometimes to where the man or the woman, every time they make a comment, the other person tries to come and make a better comment. I've seen they are trying to share some of their successes in life. The other person, the man or the woman, will come and try to share their success to outshine the other person, not understanding that you're in the marriage together, you're in the relationship together. There is no competition. Y'all on the same team. You're on the same side. Let me say it again. You're on the same team. You're on the same side. So there's no reason for you two to be competitors or compete with one another. But I've seen it happen. And if they're competing with you now, if they're competing with you openly now, they're going to compete with you also inside of your marriage. You have to be, always have to be on the same team. My wife is and I are on the same team. I'm so serious and adamant about this to where even if we're playing a game with a sports game or a card game with friends, I won't play against her in dominoes. I won't play against her in bowling. I won't play against her in spades. She's always my spades partner. We're always on the same team. It does not matter. We're gonna always be on the same team. If there come up a situation, a situation comes up to where they're trying to separate, say let's do this against it. No, I'm not. I don't even participate, because no matter what happens, we're always on the same team. I'm not going to try to. She has her own business. I don't try to outshine her in her business. I have my own business. She don't try to outshine me in my business. We're on the same team. So when she got something going on, then I'm supporting her. When I got something going on, then she's supporting me. Why? Because there's no competition here. Because when she wins, I win. When I win, she wins. We win together. And so there, you do not want to be with a person. And I'm saying this. You do not want to be with a person who is in competition with you. They ain't trying. It looks and if since we're in the church, I want to say this. They're not trying to out preach you. They're not trying to out sing you. They're not trying to do. They're not trying to show how much they are higher and more worthy than you are. No, you are on the same team. You have to be on the same team, and it has to be intentional. You say, listen, we're intentionally on the same team. I really, that's a real big one for me. I don't play with that one. That's major for me. Because no matter what comes or goes, listen, we in this thing together. We got to be in this thing together. We ever get to the point to where we feel like we have to be at odds with one another or whatever, and we have to be competitors, that we no longer need to be together. We don't need to be together if we're going to be trying to outdo one another. We're on the same side. Same side. All right, that's number what's that, number 3? All right, let's go to number 4. Number four. You should be with someone who impresses you, leaves an impression. You're impressed by their thought process. You're impressed by how they work, how they make decisions, how they treat people. You're impressed by the way they do things, impressed by the way they love on their family. You're impressed by the way that even their thought process. You should be with someone who impresses you, and you impress them. They leave an impression on you. You have the conversation with them, and something they say or something that they do sticks with you even as the day goes by, as the week goes by, the month goes by. Something they're doing, some event that they're having, the way they carry themselves impresses you. So it should be something that leaves an impression. And let me say this: a positive impression, not a negative impression, because some folks can leave that, but a positive impression that makes you feel like, you know what, this person has the way they think about this, the way they've shown me this, the way they talk about this. It really made me think. It really made put something in my heart and mind to really consider. All right, someone who impresses you is important. To have someone who impresses you in your life. Again, because if they're impressing you now, they will impress you inside of the marriage. All right. Number five. The last one is, hold on. Let me get this right. All right. The last one is someone who expands you. Now, we talked about honesty. We talked about honesty in the tough conversations. We talked about the consistency. We talked about not being competition. Talked about someone impressing you. Last one is they expand you. And what you mean is that they what they say, what they do, actually causes you to open up your thoughts about something. They're giving you, with their impressions, with their thoughts. It's causing you to expand in regions and areas in your life, in your mind, that you never thought about. Something that's, hey, listen, this makes me want to do better in this area. This makes me want to try new experiences. This makes me think about elevate me or empower me to reach a higher plateau in my life. It's stretching me from where I am right now to where I can be better in an area I may not have even thought about that I could do better in. They're expanding me. So that person that you're considering, they should expand you, not cause you to go back, but cause you to move forward and expand where you are right now. You can be better. You can do better. You can have new experiences in life. They're expanding you from where you are. Who have you met? Who you dating that expands you? Are you dating a person that's causing you to think about things differently, to open up yourself where you are? to help you get to new plateaus, new dimensions in life. They have that godlike quality that causes you to say, listen, I may have dealt with something in the past in my life, but now since I've met this person, they're causing me to say, hey, there's something more in the world. There's something more in my life. There's something more in my love life that I never thought about before. And this is something I never thought I needed until I got with you. There's something I never thought about doing until I got with you. I thank God that you're here in my life because now I'm expanded. My finances are expanding. The way I think about my financial situation is expanding. The way I think about my spiritual life is expanding. The way I think about how to handle and deal with my emotions are expanding. The way I love my family or want to love my family or raise my family is expanding me. It's expanding me. My lifestyle, our lifestyle together will be expanded. Can I see further than where I am right now? I love to share this all the time. When Adam first saw Eve, it expanded him so much to where he began to prophesy and say, therefore, for a man shall leave his mother and his father and cleave to his wife. It expanded him from where he was in that moment. So to where he started seeing where they could be in the future, seeing what things will be in the future. You want a person who expands you to where you can see further than where you are right now. To feel and experience other things further than where you are right now. All right? Can we accept that? How we feel about that? How we feel about being expanded? How we feel about being expanded because of the person with us helping to expand us in places that we never thought we would be, yet still being God's will, yet still doing the will of God in our lives. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the person is expanding us in these places, and yet still being in God's will? We got to think about that. Yes, we got to think about that. All right. Okay. I'm done. Those are my 5 I want to share with you. Hope that you have enjoyed that, received that. I hope that blesses you. Hope that, of course, empowers you to move forward. All right. Again, feel free to like, share, and comment on this video. If you're watching on Facebook, put your likes in, put your loves in. Don't forget to look at the link in the description and join our challenge for next month. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we bring up a video. I'm doing daily videos right now, and about 9:30. I'm doing daily videos about more aspects of this that help you to expand and empower you on these platforms. So you want to be notified when we're doing this. So make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Until the next video, I love you, and you be empowered.